Are you feeling disoriented, confused, like you don't know what is up and what is down? This is a very common experience after a spiritual awakening. And why is that? As many of you know, I'm Jim Tolles. I'm a spiritual teacher. I blog regularly at spiritualawakeningprocess.com and do videos here. Please sign up for my newsletter to stay in touch. And please share these videos and my blog posts to help others get useful, grounded spiritual information. I want you to imagine that you're in a boat your whole life. I want you to imagine that your whole life, that boat, has been upside down. And somehow you've managed to breathe. I don't know how, but it hasn't been easy. And this is just how you thought the world was. Upside down, laboring to breathe, being hit by all sorts of rocks and underground debris in the water. And then one day that boat flips. Could you imagine how shocked you would be, how confused, how disoriented you would be? That's what awakening can be like. Where we realize what is real, and yet we're still so familiar and used to our old stories, our old misconceptions, our old attachments, that we feel conflicted. And we have to go through a reconciliation. We have to start to reconcile with what is true versus what we were taught and what we've practiced our whole lives. And because we're so deeply attached to what we have practiced, what is familiar, we tend to take our boat and flip it under again. But it's never quite the same. Because once you've been right-sided up and you're breathing air, and a part of you's like, this is actually easier than trying to breathe water. It's like, I don't want to do that again, but yet we're used to it. And a part is like, well, this is just how it is. You all know this phrase, right? That's just how it is. That's what people say as a front to the fact that it's not how it is. It's just how we've been living. And we can go around in this sort of death roll for a while because we're so attached and enmeshed with our familiar ways of being. We get used to bad relationships, bad jobs, poor health. Poor health is a really big one right now. So many people are very, very sick, and we've normalized it. And that's why when I talk about health, it's very confronting for people because I'm often talking to people who are otherwise healthy by today's standards, and I'm saying, no, the bar has been lowered so low, it is ridiculous that a lot of what we consider to be health today is actually active decline, is a form of sickness. And it's not until things get really, really bad that we go to modern medicine and they try to treat the pathology, whatever it may be. That's confronting. To find out you've been eating wrong your whole life, that's confronting. To find out you don't know how to breathe right, that's confronting. Can we accept the truth? That's how we're going to get out of the disorientation and the confusion. And I know a lot of you feel this but get stuck because there's a part of you that says, can't these old beliefs and practices be right? No, they're not. And the more people hold on and pull themselves back down, that's often one of the ways that people get into the dark night of the soul, where everything feels hopeless because we're holding on to lies. We're holding on to things that truly make us feel bad. And now there's enough perspective to know how bad. And I think that little extra bit of hope of knowing that there's a different way of living that's actually truthful and healthy and kind and loving is part of what makes that despair spiral. Because we don't yet have that internal will to say, I'm going to choose to be right side up. And it's really going to come back to this again and again. It's choice. It's not readiness. I hear this all the time through all the years I've done this since 2010. Someone's like, I'm just not ready. It's like, no, that your ego's never ready. Your ego's never like, yep, I'm ready to give up all my familiarity and go off into this unknown transformation process. That sounds like a good idea. Don't wait for that. You just choose. That's part of one of the key and lasting steps of spiritual freedom. Your ability to choose. You have the choice, and only you can make it. You have that choice. You have it in the palm of your hand to say, I want to see what's real. I want to look at every belief inside me, every attachment, and see if there's truth to it. I'm going to confront the parts of myself that just want to be validated with what I'm used to believing. I'm going to step through that fear into the unknown. You take that power, and only you can, and it is incredibly powerful. You don't understand this power until you start to choose it, but that doesn't mean you feel good. Because there's another thing in this too, that disorientation doesn't feel really good. Facing fears feels less good. Facing shame feels less good, right? And there's that part of this transition. It's what I call the messy middle, where it's not getting better at first. It gets more confusing as you notice more things. That tends to be a thing. Some of you know this. Yes? Leave a comment if you do, where after you step through the first couple of things, you see 15 more things where you're still wound up in sea kelp or whatever the boat's floating in, and you have to cut yourself out of that to flip back right side up again. And then you see 15 more things. And you get humbled. How could I be this wrong about so many things? But we are. The truth is the truth. It doesn't lie to us. It has nothing to do with belief, by the way. Because truth is just like we're built to breathe air. It has nothing to do with what we believe. It's just how it works. And if we have any doubt about should we breathe air, we test it to find out if it's true. We don't make 15 new beliefs to try and reinforce it, which is what a lot of people do on the spiritual path, as I've talked about many other things. Trying to make more beliefs will make you more disoriented, will create new distortion, will just pull you back underwater. But choosing to want to know what is real and choosing to go forward, even though your ego and your body and all these other things are going to say, I'm not ready. That's powerful. And if you keep choosing, the disorientation will end and you will enjoy being right side up, breathing the free air.